Hello and welcome back to Gurukul Online Learning. This is Nishit Dey once again. Today we are going to learn about Taans. So what are Taans? Taans are more like triplets. Before I go into what Taans are, let's talk about the use of Taans. So we're going to study in one of these lessons of an ideal sitar performance. Every part it has and how every part is expressed and what we need to learn to achieve these expressions in order to better express music ourselves on the sitar. So before we understand what Taans is, we need to understand what a composition is. So Indian classical music is always composed in a specific beat cycle, just like any other sort of music. Everything will have a beat cycle. So, for example, you're taking 16 beat cycle, which is probably the most popular beat cycle in classical music, Indian classical music. It's also called Teen Tal, and you are going to play a composition. So it's going to have a fixed part, and then you're going to have to make your own music. So as I mentioned, every classical musician has to be a composer as well, because you're going to compose stuff on the stage while you're playing. Impromptu, following a set of rules, also bending them a bit. So as we learned of 2 padda meer, which is also going to be 3 and 4 and 5 paddas later. For example, you're playing regama. Right now you can, I hope you can play regama and sarega, whichever has 2 paddas. So you can also play regama, which is going to equate to 3 padda meer. What is meer? It is the bend of notes. So whenever you're going to listen to a song or whenever you're going to have a line that you want to express, it's always going to have mediums. So you can also play re ga ma pa, and which is going to sound like, but you can also play re ga ma pa, so, and then pa ma ga re. Keeps on falling, so it's very important that you learn how to tune as well, and always keep a steady ear, a sharp ear for anything that sounds distuned, and fix it on the spot. So meer and speed. So on the last class, we also learned how to play meer. Now we are going to learn how to combine these exercises together in order for us to play a taan, which is for this instance is going to be extremely simple. So 2 practices we are going to combine today. One is saregama on parda or fret, and then the 2 padda meer. So in sitar, while playing Yaman, probably 2 of the most important places where you're gonna pull from in Yaman is gama pa and dhani sa. So you hold on ga and then you pull it down to pa, and then you hold on dha and then you pull it down to sa. There are a lot of things that we need to learn about. There's a thing called gamak. What gamak is, what we are going to also discuss today. So what we're going to learn is playing a specific taan, a very simple one, but playing it using fret and meer. So the taan that we're going to play today is just simple saregama pa dha ni sa and sa ni dha pa ma ga re sa coming back. But how do we play it using meer? Before that, we need to know why do we need to play it on meer and not on the fret. It's because of an effect, a musical effect. So you can play straight. If you play straight, it's going to be on the fret. So sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa ni dha pa ma ga re sa. But then again, if you want to add an effect, a gamak effect, you have to play it on the meer. How? What you're trying to achieve would be sa re ga ma pa dha ni dha pa ma ga re sa. The last thing, that is sa ni da or da ni sa, that is the thing that we are trying to learn here. So how do we achieve that? First, a demonstration. Now, here's what I want you to do. So you've already learned how to play on fret. So you do that till pa. And then you teach your finger how to place the middle finger here precisely without missing your line over here, which is a new skill that you're going to learn today. So you place this, and then your hand returns to the position where you're accustomed to while you practice the two-parda meer. So mind you, you learned the skill of using both your fingers to pull on the string, but you didn't learn yet on how to have the agility to kind of shift and then pull on the string. So that is what you're going to learn today. So it's actually very simple. It's combining the knowledge that you already gained throughout the lessons. So this is what it is. So let me tell you how you can achieve this, the ways. So place pa. Commonly done mistake in this stage is you tend to play only da, because at this stage it's easier for your brain to use only da, and so much to do. Pulling here and using dara can get difficult, but that is exactly what you have to break through. You have to train yourself so that doesn't happen. So first and foremost, before this practice, it's very important that you have done all your warm-ups before playing this lesson. And when your hands are warmed up, and what I mean is your right hand is activated, your left hand is activated to do this, and it is also activated to pull down 2 frets. Once that is done, then learning this lesson is going to be really easier and more effective, of course. So what you do is you try to play sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa with meer at least in half the speed that you're accustomed to. That's going to make it easier for you to learn. It's going to be easier for your muscles to learn and get it into muscle memory. So for 10 minutes, and it should every day. If you add this to your riyaz routine, it's gonna help you to understand this better. Eventually, here is where we'll start looking for speed. So every time you're gonna play a composition, this can be, usually people don't play sa re ga ma pa dha because it sounds too simple, but it's a start. So we're looking for much more speed. So there's one more thing that I want you to realize. When you have a bigger chunk of practice on a single material, it's always wise to kind of break them down. So here I can break it down into 2 parts. One being sa re ga ma pa. In the other lesson, I already talked about that your finger is like a child. So it's going to learn only what you teach it. So far when you were playing sa re ga ma pa dha ni, your index finger learned how to move quickly across 7 notes. So anything lesser than 7 is always going to be easier for you. Anything more than 7 is going to take some time in learning. So up to pa, it's going to be very simple. What the new skill that we are going to learn is shifting in speed. So you can turn it into 2 parts. So sa re ga ma pa, and then pa dha ni sa ni dha pa. So this skill you learn from here. So you dissect it into two parts, and gradually you can increase the speed. You can also see that I'm using kind of a bending technique, which I would strongly recommend that you keep that for a later day. For now, you can just play it very straight. Now, what is the difference between, say, straight and curved? So as I said, pa dha ni sa ni dha pa is straight, and pa dha ni sa ni dha pa, that is curved. Curved effect is what we are going to be looking for in the long run. But right now, I think much more important is precision and finding out the notes, because distuned is something that you just cannot do. Everything has to be in perfect tune. In any kind of music, in any instrument, be it vocal or instrument or any kind of music, tune is of of utmost importance. So what you can do is, as I already mentioned in the last lesson, that your mind is gonna kind of draw a mental map to kind of have generate a muscle memory, which is gonna tell you where the notes are hiding through every pull, and that is what you're gonna have to achieve. So playing straight, pa dha ni sa and sa ni dha pa. So along with this, your practice gets improved. Your practice material, you have much more now. So you now have 5 practice materials in comparison to the last video that we showed you have 4. That's it for today. See you in another class. Take care. Bye bye.